Hey everyone, we'll give it a few minutes for people to file in. Hey guys, we'll go ahead and get started. I appreciate everybody for the being flexible with a little delay. I had to push things a little bit today. Had some other meetings creep up some priorities, so had to address that. The last week was it was an okay week. It wasn't our best week. It wasn't a worse week. It was pretty even. Just kind of running through the three work streams on the UNIMOON side. Integration with storage DCS is complete, so we're integrated. The UNIMOON iOS and Android apps are both integrated with a blockchain Web3 decentralized storage platform, Storage DCS. This week we're starting, we're going to finally, early on in the project when we were evaluating SDKs to use for post creation, basically video editing and so forth, we analyzed a few of them, and I selected one called Banuba, and we validated it would be fairly easy to integrate at the front of the project. Now we're getting to the phase of the project where we're going to actually do that integration. And what Banuba is going to provide is that very kind of feature-rich content creation experience. So you'll be able to, it's, you know, as soon as, like, if you're on TikTok and you hit the record button, after the recording is actually completed, it's all that post, right? So applying the filters, doing different animations or effects or stickers or text, all that stuff. That's all Banuba. The additional thing Banuba does bring along that had a brief chat with Izzy this morning is audio editing as well. So you guys may notice that you tend to be kind of constrained, and we use TikTok as a reference because it's the most popular one right now, but you tend to be constrained on the audio front. So you can obviously publish audio that you record, right, from that's part of the video, but you're fairly constrained on audio tracks that you're allowed to attach and the editing and the robustness there. So what we're looking to do is open up some of those features that Banuba provides and provide some more of that audio editing, right? So it's a little more of a creative experience. We're not trying to make it super detailed, but if you want to get in there, and for especially advanced content creators, we want to give it a go to have some more tools available. So that's what the Banuba activation will do. And we're hoping to start that this week. The while work's ongoing. Met with the team briefly, the mobile dev teams, provided some direction on kind of the way that we want the wallets implemented. So they're going back and they're implementing that approach. Nft integration, I'm hoping once the wallet's completed and that integration's done, that should start next week. It kind of brings us to the marketplace. So marketplace is, I would say, I was talking with the guys this morning, about 85%, 90% done, maybe a little more, based on some new kind of enhancements that I've asked for. So they're going to obviously integrate that with Storage DCS as well. So the content and the posts that you create over in the mobile app obviously are going to the same kind of data repository, decentralized Web3 logical data repository. The data is actually sharded and split across tens of thousands of nodes that are spread across the world. Not all of them, but use around 80 nodes for a particular piece of file content, a blob, right? So the NFT team has to unplug Arweave and plug in storage. So Arweave is a very great project, but very popular in the Solana ecosystem. So we're currently kind of spinning up that work. The other thing is the styling. So we've got kind of the basic Metaplex look and feel. Functionally, it's ours on the back end, but we've got the basic look and feel. That doesn't work for us, right? So we want the kind of the Mimi colors and the very exciting kind of experience. So the designer's going to take a swag at putting a couple of comps together for just a big browser experience on the NFT marketplace. We're taking some inspiration from Solar and a couple of the other guys. You know, you look at the OpenSeas of the world and the wearables, they all tend to be very similar. Some of them have a hero image, and some of them have, popular collections and upcoming mints, things like that. We're not going to get that for both. So really, this is really more just another avenue for our users, our user community, to display their works and have other people kind of interact with them and provide that marketplace functionality. So we're not going to over-index on the look and feel of the marketplace too much right now. It's really more about functionality. Still want it to look nice. So the design team will take a look at that, put some comms together. They're going to apply our branding guidelines right now, so that's in flight. But we want a little extra than just changing the font faces and the colors and the gradients and things like that. So we'll take a swag at that this week. On the L1, a couple new team members, several new team members actually. So we added 3, 4, 5 developers, some are part-time, some are full-time, to the L1 development. We're targeting initial integrations of our contracts, our Solana programs, to DevNet at the end of this week. So hopefully starting Friday, I expect to get some demos of those. So we've added 3 Devops resources as well to stabilize DevNet, which I hope to have stabilized by Friday, and then I'll build out testnet and stabilize testnet. So on the DevOps side, Nirmal, Manoj, and Santosh. And then on the L1 development, we kind of brought in some heavy hitters here. So we've got Juming, Alex, and Mel that are going to be contributing to the team part-time. Talked with their leader, Mitt, for months and months and months, collaborate on a couple of kind of possible engagements. So I'm excited to give them some action items on the project. Alex and Takahashi will also be joining. A different Alex. We have 2 of them. One is Alex Juming, and then another one's just Alex. So Alex and Takahashi are going to be joining the team as well. They're senior software engineers, but they're more importantly, they got strong Web3 background. They've got quite a bit of Solana experience, and they're very strong Rust developers. All of these developers that I mentioned are very strong Rust developers, which is crucial when you're working in Solana. So welcome them to the team. It's getting them ramped up. Alex and Takahashi actually have been working on various aspects of our project Alex has been engaged with us since actually early December. This is just, we're formalizing it a little more. And instead of more of an ad hoc, he's getting, kind of more consistent engagement here. Takahashi, we've been talking with for the past 30 days or so. Very excited. They bring a wealth of experience on different projects. More important, they bring a passion for the space. So I'm really excited about that. And on the smart contract front, again, the program's in Solana. It's a little different, same concept, right? So the first 3, the first one that we're looking at deploying to DevNet this Friday is the one that registers user actions, user activities. So one of we've identified about 4 programs that are obviously custom to us, custom to the project, but they work together, right? To really create the foundation for the social activity coefficient and capture the activity. The first primary one is the user action capture. So being able to capture likes, download, shares, etc., and provide them a weight, right? And that's one part of the equation to the social activity coefficient. The other part right now we've got defined as an SAC multiplier. So it's basically just linear algebra with these. So the user action one contractor program we expect to be deployed on Friday to start integration testing. So we're getting to the point where I said in February was the month of integration. We're really kind of getting down into the weeds of actually just integrating the programs in amongst themselves. Shortly behind it is the media object and analytics program. The idea there is that we're not just identifying users, and Solana users are going to be tied to individual accounts. There's going to be program accounts also that are living on chain as well. But more importantly, those media objects are essentially they're going to have some measure of accounting themselves, right? We don't know yet if an individual media object will have its own account. I'm leaning not, right? Because we don't want to create a bunch of noise on the blockchain either. And I don't think that's a very efficient use of the blockchain kind of as a data structure, as a transaction kind of clearinghouse. The key point of the media object program is to uniquely identify a single piece of content, right? And if you look at the light paper and soon to be white paper, you'll see these concepts are very consistent. We need to uniquely identify users. We're uniquely identifying media objects as well. That allows us foundationally to start ranking and understanding context and the interactions between those two kind of principles, right? So the user action one, I'm hoping we'll have the first integration tests kind of ready to go by the end of the week. Shortly behind it, the media object. We're taking all the work we've done in these proof of concepts and kind of this exploratory development, and we're formalizing it into something that's a little more stable. And then the media object one should be short behind it. And then the third one out of the four is the user ranking one, right? So much to the chagrin probably of the incumbent social platforms, they all do it. They all have kind of various graph heuristics to understand influence of subgraphs as far as your social network, your subnetwork. Essentially, an individual has a representative network of people that they're connected to. There's a lot of analytics that are very opaque that the users of these platforms are not aware of. We're working to make them very transparent. And the reality is that user ranking, it'll go into almost a bit of a type of a reputational score. So users, you can think of it, as a reputation. You can think of it as a rank, etc. It'll be based off things like activity, quality of posts, etc. So, and it's something that's constantly dynamic, right? So it's not something that's statically going to be stuck to a particular account for forever. So that's one of the third ones, or that is the third one that we'll deploy. That's probably the most complicated one. The fourth one beyond that has to do with reflections and when tokens get distributed over particular epochs based on those first three. Again, we find user ranking very important because it's about quality of content. We really want to encourage and incentivize quality content. Quality doesn't necessarily mean popular. Popular content often has a lot of false engagements, bots, things like that. So you can't just say that the most popular content out there is the highest piece of quality. So that algorithm, again, comes back to that SAC algorithm. That algorithm is really determining user and object ranking in context of the activity of the network. So again, we're starting to deploy these things on chain. Once we get these deployed to DevNet and they're stabilized, then we'll deploy to testnet, which is the multi-node cluster. That'll be in March. And yeah, things are, going well. Last week wasn't the most terribly productive week. There's tons of activity. It doesn't mean it's always productive. But it was solid. We're probably still about, I wanted to make up time. If you listen to the past dev updates, we probably haven't made up any time. We haven't lost any time, but we're kind of on track. So we're still probably about 10 days back from where I would like to be, but things are in great shape. I see some of the comments in the community. Please keep them coming. The mods are bubbling them up and trying to collect them for the AMAs. So please keep the feedback coming, and I hope everybody has a great week. I look forward to talking to everybody at the next AMA. Thanks.